Cooking can be a lot of fun, and the end result can be well worth the effort. A necessary part of cooking is the use of ratios. For example, a recipe may ask you to use 1 cup of water to every 3 cups of flour. Perhaps you've heard of ratios described in other ways. For example, a car travels 26 miles to every gallon of gasoline. Or, this team scores a touchdown to every 12 possessions of the ball. What exactly are ratios? And how do we work with ratios? During the next few minutes, we're going to explore the concept of ratios as well as the use of rates. So pay close attention as we investigate the fascinating topics of ratios and rates. In this parking lot, there are 2 pickup trucks and 3 cars. And in this vase, there are 4 yellow flowers and 5 red flowers. These observations are expressed as ratios. What exactly is a ratio? A ratio is a relationship between 2 numbers. Ratios are commonly described as one number to another number. For example, in this collection of candy, we can say there are 3 red gummy bears to 7 green gummy bears. You decide. Describe the ratio of apples to bananas shown here. That's right. There are 7 apples to 4 bananas. And here you can say there are 4 white sheep to 3 brown sheep. Let's now take a look at some of the ways ratios can be written. Suppose you are planning a day-long hiking trip with a few of your friends. You need to prepare a high-energy trail mix for nourishment throughout the day. The trail mix consists of a ratio of raisins to cashews. The recipe calls for 2 cups of raisins and 3 cups of cashews. This can be stated as a ratio of 2 cups of raisins to 3 cups of cashews. What are some of the different ways that this ratio can be written? One way we can write the ratio is simply 2 to 3. It can also be written in a slightly shorter way with a colon placed between the 2 and 3. A third way we can write the ratio is as a fraction, 2 over 3. If you were to ask more friends to go on the hiking trip, you would naturally need to make more trail mix. If you had 3 times the number of people hiking, you would need to triple the size of the mix, while keeping the ratio of raisins to cashews the same. This is easy to do. You simply multiply each value by 3. So, 3 times 2 cups of raisins equals 6 total cups of raisins. And 3 times 3 cups of cashews equals 9 total cups of cashews. The new ratio is 6 to 9. The original ratio of 2 to 3 and the new ratio of 6 to 9 are called equivalent ratios. Equivalent ratios are 2 ratios that express the same relationship. Now let's see how we can simplify ratios. There are 15 white golf balls and 6 orange golf balls on this putting green. This can be expressed as the ratio 15 to 6. You decide. What is this ratio in its simplest form. The largest common number that can be completely divided into both 15 and 6 is 3. So, 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So the ratio in its simplest form is 5 to 2. At some point, you've probably created or seen a model in the form of a drawing or diagram to illustrate something. It's also possible to create models of ratios. Given the ratio of 5 to 3, let's create a model using squares and circles. On the left, we have 5 squares, and on the right, we have 3 circles. This illustrates the ratio 5 to 3. You decide. How would you illustrate a ratio of 2 to 1 using fingers and a thumb? That's right. You simply hold out 2 fingers on one hand and a thumb on the other hand. This represents the ratio of 2 fingers to 1 thumb. On a hot summer day, have you ever made lemonade to quench your thirst? One simple way to make lemonade involves combining specific amounts of lemonade mix and water. The recipe requires a half a cup of lemonade mix combined with 1 quart of water. Let's say you want to make 5 quarts of lemonade. How much lemonade mix do you need to use? To make this easier, let's make a table of ratios. The top row of numbers represent different quantities of lemonade mix. The bottom row of numbers represents quarts of water. We know that a half a cup of lemonade mix is combined with 1 quart of water. The top row of the table can be filled in by adding an additional half cup of lemonade mix in each cell. On the bottom row, we add 1 additional quart of water until we get to 5 quarts. So, as you can see, we need to use 2½ cups of lemonade mix to make 5 quarts of lemonade. Perhaps you've had a job babysitting in the past. Or maybe you've done odd jobs in your neighborhood. For this type of work, you are most likely paid a certain amount of money per hour. This is sometimes referred to as an hourly rate. But what exactly is a rate? A rate is a ratio involving 2 quantities in different units. Place 2 fingers on the back of your wrist so that you can feel your pulse. You decide. Count your pulse for 10 seconds. Begin counting now. Now stop. Let's say you counted 12 pulses during the 10 seconds. This is a rate of 12 pulses to 10 seconds. But what we really want to do is find something called a unit rate. A unit rate is the rate for 1 unit of a given quantity. In this case, we want to find a unit rate of pulses for 1 minute. We know there are 60 seconds in 1 minute, so we need to multiply 10 seconds times 6 to get 60 seconds, or 1 minute. We then also need to multiply the number of pulses, which is 12 times 6. The result is 72 pulses. Therefore, the unit rate is 72 pulses to 1 minute. Let's look at another example. You may enjoy eating cereal for breakfast. This particular box of cereal contains a total of 1,320 calories. And there are a total of 12 servings of cereal in the box. A serving in this case is 1 cup. Let's find the unit rate of calories per serving. To find this, we divide 1,320 calories by 12 servings to get a value of 110 calories per serving. In other words, the unit rate is 110 calories per 1 serving. During the past few minutes, we explored the interesting concepts of ratios and rates. We began by exploring the definition of ratio and how a ratio is expressed. Next, we took a look at the 3 different ways that ratios can be written. We then explored the process of working with equivalent ratios by increasing them and simplifying them. Some of the ways to model ratios and work with ratios in tables was then highlighted. Last, we worked with rates, learning how to find a rate and learning to work with unit rates. This rounded out our fascinating exploration of ratios and rates. Fill in the correct word to complete the sentence. Good luck, and let's get started. Number 1 are commonly described as one number to another number. Number 2. The ratio of glasses to cans is 5 to . Number 3. These ratios are examples of ratios. Number 4. How much lemonade mix is needed with 4 quarts of water? And number 5. A unit rate is the rate of unit of a given quantity.